guys, welcome back to the Calcio podcast. Today I'll be joined by Danny and Francesco. What's going on?
What's up,
Hey guys.
Hey guys, so we got Danny in happy spirits today, obviously. Napoli, the results for the appeal came back for the Juventus match that was supposed to be played earlier on in the season. And the 1 point deduction they also received, and Napoli have won. So the match will be replayed, and the point deduction has been taken away. So we'll start off with Danny, because you're probably in good spirits right now. How you feeling?
Yeah, so as of right now, like I wasn't with Napoli, I wasn't too happy after the recent performances they put in. An unlucky 1-0 loss to Inter, and then just no characteristic, nothing to show against Lazio. It was one of the worst games I've ever seen them play. But today I woke up with good news, and that we won the appeal. I'm kind of surprised that we actually have the chance. Now we have the chance to replay the game and got the 1 point deducted. I thought if the Napoli were going to appeal, the only thing that would come out of it is that 1 point, which I think they shouldn't be taking the point away to begin with. They should have just gave Juve the win if that was the case. But Napoli, they didn't give up on this appeal. I'm happy with it. At the end of the day, both sides, you can argue both sides, but I'm not going to get into that because for me now it's done and dusted, and you got to look at it as a different way. Just pretend that nothing ever happened and the match was just postponed. So if Juve want the 3 points, they have to fight for it now, which I think now Napoli too, it's a even game now. And you don't have to worry about any bullshit that's going on with the ASL or the association in Napoli, the league and stuff. I just think it took way too long just to settle this. And at the end of the day, I think common sense prevailed, but you can argue both sides. You can see both sides of the stories. So I'm just happy that the appeal was won and that we got our point back. And now I think Napoli are third place or tied with Juventus for third and fourth. So this is going to be an interesting second half of the season, and I'm just hoping Napoli can perform the way they can.
Francesco, so what do you think about the appeal and everything that took place?
Well, personally, I'm obviously a Juve fan. I'm on the side of I think Juve should have been dealt the 3 points. I don't blame the Napoli players and staff for not coming to the game. I blame the Napoli government for pulling them over and not allowing them to travel. I feel like it's ridiculous. It was petty. But at the end of the day, they want Juve and Napoli to play. We'll play. We're going to win. We'll just have to show people that the 3 points should have just left it the way it was. And that's going to be okay as long as we show up and play our game. There's nothing to worry about. Only thing I'm pissed off about is the fact that the Serie A put us in a schedule that it's very tough. We have to face Napoli. 3 days later, we face Inter. 3 days later, we play Napoli in the final. I feel like that's a little unfair. And personally, I think we should cut the break short and have Napoli-Juve be the first game back from Serie A. And then we move on to Juve-Udinese and whatnot. But what can you do? It's made up, and we'll show Napoli, De Laurentiis, and then Napolitano government that they should have never appealed it.
Yeah, well said. Not much to say there. Obviously, the match will now be played, so we'll see who the winner is, or if they draw, or whatever happens. So
Yeah.
At least now we know there's going to be a fair result, and there won't be any complaints at the end of the season, because it would really be a shame if Napoli end up the season like, let's say, 1 point away from the Scudetto or 3 or whatever it is. So it's good to see that Napoli have another chance now to fight for what they believe they can do to make the city happy and represent Maradona, and it'd be really nice to see them bring home a Scudetto this season. So it's good to see they still have a chance for that, because obviously with the point deduction, it would have been really, really, really hard for them to make that happen. So that was good to see. Obviously, Serie A has been up and down this season. We have Inter, who started off like they looked terrible, let's be honest here. And they still aren't playing the best, but they're getting results, so it's always good to see. Obviously, you had their win against Napoli last week, 1-0. some controversial calls, I guess you can say, but they got the win at the end of the day. And then they've just been doing a good job as of late. Ever since they got eliminated from the Champions League, they've really been taking the Serie A more seriously and getting results. That's good to see. Napoli, they have a lot of injuries, and it's kind of hard to really criticize them because a lot of things have happened to them this season, both on and off the pitch. So it's really hard to judge the performances of a fully healthy team, but I believe they play tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Tomorrow against Torino.
Yeah, and we're recording this, by the way, for all of you listening. So just in case anything we say is outdated, it's Tuesday at 1:43 p.m. So there you go, Eastern time. But yeah, summarizing the top teams right now. In Milan, you have Milan, who's also having a really, really good year. Their team, if you look on paper, I don't know if Danny, Francesco, you guys agree or not, but on paper, Milan doesn't look the best. I guess you can agree.
I agree. No, I can agree with that. I just think they're just a good side all around.
Yeah, they're a well-oiled machine.
Ibra's been playing like he's 20 again. Like he's playing really well this season, and it's going to be interesting now to see what they do without the likes of Kessie, Benacer, and also Tonali, who are reportedly expected to miss, I think, this game, and then potentially maybe come back for the winter season, you can call it, or like after the break. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do, how they'll play without those key guys in the midfield, mainly Benacer and Kessie. But I think overall, if you're a Milan fan, you gotta be really happy with the first half of the season. Pioli's been an amazing coach so far for them. We expected him to be sacked in January, but as of right now, I don't see that happening unless Milan have a massive collapse, and by maybe March, April, he's out the door, and they just get a coaching just to finish off the season. But I don't see that happening. I think Milan have the quality and also the leadership from Ibrahimovic to just maintain in maybe the top 4, top 5 even, and just performances by Leao, Donnarumma, who's easily becoming maybe I can argue this, maybe a top 10 goalie in the world, top 15 for sure. And Leao has been playing like a madman. He's been incredible to watch for Milan, and Ibra. The guy's class. Even at the age of 39, he's still class. It's just going to be interesting to see how Milan come out from this break, because there's been a lot of times where teams enter the winter. You could call it the winter champions, become winter champions, but after the break, they have a massive fall off. So let's just see if Milan can continue this momentum heading forward.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so Milan, like I said, have a great year. Atalanta, if you look at Atalanta, they've had a big fall off. I wouldn't say big, but as of late, they look better, obviously, against Roma. We'll get into that in a bit. But Atalanta coming into the season, you had a feeling that the depth would catch up to them, and also without Papu Gomez now, it's a big loss for them, not only on the field but off the field. Papu is, I don't want to compare him to Totti, but he's their Totti, like he's Atalanta's Totti.
Yeah.
Like I know their fans really wanted to see Papu retire at the club, so seeing him go out the way he's about to go out, just terrible. You never want to see that to a club who's a legend. So that's always a shame, but I guess I don't know. They played good against Roma without him, so
yeah.
I guess Juve changed the game when he came in. So
yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, it is. I wonder who they'll bring in, because you can't just
replace them.
Yeah. I think they'll bring in 2 or 3 guys to replace him. You can't bring in one.
It depends who they get.
Yeah, because a player of that quality, Atalanta can't really find like one exact guy that can do exactly what Papu did. They'll probably get 1, 2, maybe 3 guys to come in, but a player I really like is Malinovsky. I think he can become a cornerstone for that team, and he already is in a way. I really like the way he plays. His shooting ability is incredible. His passing ability, his pressure when he's off the ball. He's a really great player to watch, and I think Atalanta really need to keep a hold of him as much as they can.
Yeah.
I
But
think the best bet is Ericsson for them.
yeah, Papu for
As close
Ericsson,
as
yeah.
possible. I think that's gonna be as close as possible in like a reasonable price range.
Because apparently there are a few reports that I was reading that Atalanta could potentially accept a 10 to 15 million like euro bid for him.
Yeah, so that.
Something like that. Like it's just
That's
incredible to
crazy.
see. And for me, it's gonna be it's just gonna be interesting to see what team he ends up going to. Because I know there's a few teams like Napoli could potentially be looking at him. PSG were linked with him in the past. I don't know about now. Milan, Inter as well. Just like top teams, like I've been seeing that are linked with him. It's just gonna be interesting to see where he goes. He's a good player. I think he'll fit into like most of the systems that with the teams that he's linked to. Maybe we could. You can even ask. I can even ask you guys. What do you think is his best bet? I think for me, I think I can see. I don't know why. I just see him maybe coming to Napoli. Not trying to be like say it's a biased pick, but I think just the way he plays, just the way that Napoli are looking, what Napoli looking for. They're looking for a guy who can create plays in the mid, even maybe push back a CD like Zielinski down to like the CDM role and put Papu, Insigne, and maybe like Lozano, give Merchants games off too, like breaks, have him come off the bench, become that spark player. I think he'll fit Napoli's system perfectly, and I would love to see him in a Napoli jersey.
Yeah, and you can call me crazy, but I would replace, not sell him, but I'm saying I'd replace Fabian Ruiz with
Oh
Papu
yeah,
Gomez
no, I
in a
can,
heartbeat if I was an
I
Napoli
would
fan.
agree. I can agree with that because Ruiz for me, he's been easily one of our worst midfielders this season. I just didn't like I like the way he started off playing, but the last I want to say maybe 5-6 games he's just been really poor, and it seems like he's too slow with the ball, and you can agree we can all agree he's playing out of position. He's not a CDM, and there's times where he's going to be playing CDMs with Bakayoko, and he'll be pushing up like he's a striker. I feel like Fabian Ruiz's best style is when Napoli play a three-man midfield, where it's the 4-3-3, and not like the holding mid where Bakayoko is. I feel like if we sell Fabian Ruiz maybe in January, but I don't see that happening in the summer for sure. But they could be a deal. I feel like we should replace him with a guy who can actually play like the CDM role and that could create plays. Kind of like not like another Bakayoko, but a guy like say Allen would have been perfect in that role, in the CDM role with Bakayoko. I feel like we need a guy kind of I'm just gonna use this as an example, like a Virtut or maybe like a Nandez or something. Or maybe a Castrovelli could be an interesting pickup if Napoli can do that deal in the summer or whatever. Someone to come in and play like a CDM role and help create plays from that deep playmaking position. That's what I feel like Napoli's missing. And we also need a cam. You can argue, yes, Mertens is arguably been one of our best players this season, but he's getting up there in age. He cannot play every game. Uh, like you can't play, like you can play Zelensky there, but there's sometimes that Insigne might need a rest. And then you'll put like a guy like Politano or Lozano in that middle position, the number 10 position, you can say, but which they don't usually play. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I think, if Papu comes in, then we won't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and now that we're on the topic of Atalanta, I'll talk Roma Atalanta real quick here. Yeah, so Roma Atalanta happened this weekend. What really annoyed me about this match is the fact that we had a 2-day rest ahead of the match. We're the only club in the whole league that only had 2 days to rest, which confuses me. I know Cassano yesterday he mentioned it, I think on some talk show or something. He's like, oh, it's ridiculous that Roma is the only club that have 2 days off, which it really is, because if you look at the Europa League, we're always only having 3 days. Other teams would play on Monday. We're the only team. I didn't believe Napoli as well never played on Monday. So Roma and
No.
Napoli lost a lot of days off, and it's ridiculous. And honestly, the scheduling thing, something's going on, because there's no way we're always the team that gets singled out when it comes to scheduling. So that's really annoying me. And the fact that we had to play our starters for both games, because Torino, they may be bottom of the table, but like Danny knows they're playing Torino tomorrow. Torino's never an easy game. They're very, I don't want to say dirty, but they
play hard.
they play hard.
Yeah,
And
they play
can
hard.
be reckless at times too.
Yeah.
So, Torino's never an easy team to play. So, if you're coming off a hard-fought match like that and you have Atalanta in Bergamo on the weekend after 2 days of rest, it's not a good sign. So, but yeah, anyways, forget the rest and all that. In the match heading into it, I didn't think we'd win. I did think we'd lose. We haven't beaten Atalanta since, I believe, 2017, 2018 season in August when, Kolarov scored that free kick under the wall. We won 1-0 in Bergamo. That's the last time we beat them. Since Fonseca's arrived, we were 0-3, I believe, against Atalanta. 0-2. Was it 0-2? I think it was 0-2. Now we're 0-3. But yeah, I wasn't confident. I'm never really confident against Atalanta. But after watching the first half, I guess, Danny, you could probably agree. I think to most people, they probably thought Atalanta played better the first half. But to me, I believe we played better because even though Atalanta had most of the ball, they didn't really have any chances to score in that first half. They're more like outside the box, and there's one chance where Malinowski could have got a shot off, but he slipped. But other than that, they didn't really have anything. We were up 1-0, could have been 2-0. Spinazzola just had to chip the keeper, and I don't know, he got that completely wrong.
Yeah.
Could have been 2-0 early on.
Free kick.
Yeah, Pellegrini free kick. Golini was sensational.
Yeah, that's why, I feel like in that first half, when I was watching the first half, Golini was, you can even argue he was probably Atalanta's best player throughout the game. Yeah. He's been really good for them. And I feel like that spell of, that spell of possession where Roma had the free kick, they had chances here or there, and Golini was making save after save. It was just really that changes a team's, what can I say, confidence and momentum. That's a momentum shift too, where your goalie's making big saves after saves after saves. And I feel like that's a reason why, that could be a big reason why Atalanta just exploded in the second half and came out flying. And it was just for me, I feel like Golini was the game changer of that match. And I was just surprised with the end result too, because Roma, Enzo, you can agree or disagree. I thought Roma heading into the match, and even into the season, they're still a good side to watch. There's no spectacular, players that you say, oh my god, I wish I had them. They're all good players that play for Roma. They're going to be a different side when Zaniolo comes back.
Yeah.
And also, I think wasn't Smalling injured too, or someone, in the back?
He played that game, but, I don't think it was it's hard to tell games like that when there's 4 goals scored. You kind of have to blame a collective unit, but to me, Fonseca got that completely wrong because...
Yeah, I feel like he got the second half wrong. I feel like Roma were a different side from the first half and then from the second half as well.
Yeah, I agree. Because also our bench isn't the best. When you have a guy like Ilicic on the bench who can start on almost every Serie A team, and you have him off the bench is a big boost for Atalanta. I was speaking to my father during the game and I said, if Fonseca doesn't change something to counter Gasperini, because Gasperini, I think he had a formation change or something, he brought 2 subs in or whatever. He was changing the game anyways. He always does that. He's not gonna keep the same lineup and tactics on when you're losing the game. It's common sense. So whatever, he changed the team around. And I'm like, okay, I even tweeted it out on my personal account. I said, Atalanta's gonna score at some point, so we need to score again. And it's not gonna end 1-0, I'll tell you that. And, the goal came, and from that goal on, we cracked. It was over, and you kind of felt that momentum shift. You can only feel like if you scored early on in the game to make it 2-0, maybe 3-0, would have been over, but it wasn't. Fonseca, to me, was to blame for that match. He didn't make the right changes at the right time. I feel like Viad, when you have a kid playing this good, our best midfielder without a doubt right now at the current moment, you need to play him. I understand if you don't start, maybe he was tired. We don't know what's going on. You put Pedro in. Pedro was terrible. Probably his second really bad match he played. But, Viad had to play, but if he was tired, I understand. But you need to bring him on earlier. You can't wait till the game was basically done, which surprises me. I would have taken off Pedro, moved Pellegrini to the attack, like he's been playing. He's been playing well there. And then Viad and Veretout in the mid. I think that's the best dynamic we have right now. But, this match is tailor-made for Viad. Viad is really good with the ball at his feet, doesn't get nervous, doesn't get panicky, and Atalanta's a team that presses you, so we need someone like that, a calming presence in the midfield, and we didn't have that. So to me, Fonseca is becoming a pattern now in these big matches, and it needs to stop. Against the smaller teams, we win, which is good, because in the past, every Roma fan knows this, we are terrible against small teams. We always drop points. I believe one year we dropped points twice to Kiev or not too long ago, so that's bad. But I believe Fonseca's won 3 out of 17 games against top clubs since he's come to the club. So that's a terrible record and something that has to be sorted out. I think his in-game management is his biggest weak spot right now as a manager, and people saying they want to sack him are just stupid. You can't be talking about playing a match. Yeah, for sure. We'll wait for the summer for that one to evaluate. But people are saying, "Oh, sack Fonseca." Relax, please. We're sitting in 4th place right now, tied with Juve and Napoli because of the deduction, all that. Napoli won their appeal. They have a game in hand, of course, but we're in a good spot right now. If you asked everyone before the year if they thought we'd be in the spot, people would say no. So I don't want to hear people saying, "Oh," it's because of the way the club is talking. Pedro's saying, "Oh, we can win the whole thing." Fonseca saying, "Oh, we top 4." Everyone's getting their hopes up. So, and the team's been playing well. So it's even me. I've been getting really excited. So I guess it's fair to see the fans' perspective right now. But honestly, we just need to relax, give them time. If we lose to Lazio, that could be the nail in the coffin. A loss to Lazio is never good for any manager, but when it's another big game he loses and it's to Lazio, he can be in a big problem. So that game against Lazio and Inter coming up, those are 2 big ones, especially the Lazio one. If we lose to Lazio, Fonseca could be gone. I won't be surprised. But moving on from Roma, talk about Napoli, Roma. I should get a little bit more into Juve now, Francesco, your territory, so to say. Juve, big 4-0 win this past weekend. They look good. Ronaldo looked good. In my opinion, Ronaldo, even though he's been scoring, has been having a lot of class performances, but that was probably one of his best ones of the year. I really like the way he played. Ever since that Barca game, he's looked a lot better. He's running back against Barca. He looks more involved in the game. So, Francesco, what do you think about Juve's current moment in the table and the match and everything like that?
A lot of Juventus fans are gonna probably call me an idiot for this, but I actually wasn't impressed during the Juve part of my game. We won 4-0, and I think that was a blessing because the way we were playing with too much confidence. We were playing with way too much. It was like when you're playing your little brother on FIFA and he doesn't know what the controls are. So you start doing skill passes, you start doing all these fancy things, all these skill moves, and you lose the ball. You start laughing about it. That's what the Juventus players are starting to do now. And every game I watch, they do more acrobatics, and it's pissing me off. I see Ramsey doing backheel passes that don't connect, and he's laughing about it because I think they're trying to make a highlight reel, and I think it needs to stop. It all started with Morata against Atalanta doing that backheel goal, which missed the net, and now it humbled him, and now he doesn't do anything about that. But McKennie and Ramsey, they haven't learned the harsh reality of the acrobatics, and I think we gotta have that under control for the bigger games, especially because that's not gonna fly against the Napoli or an Inter or Milan. Maybe against the Parma, maybe against the Fiorentina, but against the bigger teams, it's not gonna fly. We gotta have a balance. But 4-0 win. I think that's I can't remember the last time I saw Juventus win 4-0. It goes to show you how bad we are at scoring goals. But nonetheless, I think this is the time where we gotta turn around. We can't let that 4-0 win get to our head. As we all know, on the day of recording, Juventus versus Fiorentina is in 45 minutes. So we gotta see if our form can continue. Hopefully it does. And we gotta show people that, you know what, Parma beat them 4-0. Fiorentina's on a similar level as Parma. Let's beat them 4-0 too. Let's beat the bigger teams 4-0. We gotta start with hunger. We gotta start providing quality games if we want to win the Scudetto, because Milan's looking scary now. Inter, they're always a joke. They're always gonna choke. Nothing surprises me. Same with Napoli and Roma. Never gonna admit to anything. But Milan right now, I do think they're gonna fall off. I think they started falling off, but nonetheless, we gotta start picking up our own slack if we wanna win the Scudetto, and it's also practice for the Champions League. We're serious about that competition. We gotta beat teams like Parma, Fiorentina, and Roma and Inter. So I think as of right now, we have a lot of work to do. Like you said earlier, Enz, you said Pirlo doesn't have a system. He doesn't have an identity with Juventus, and I agree with you. I think we gotta find our identity. We gotta find our formation. I think Pirlo doesn't even have a formation, if I'm being honest. I think we gotta find a formation, a play style, and a group of core players that are gonna start in. Because so far it's just been Ronaldo who's been the rock up front, and he's been saying, okay, does Morata go here? Does Dybala go here? And we gotta find where each player fits into the puzzle, and each player needs to have a good self-reflection of themselves on where they genuinely think they could help the team out, not just where they want to play, because that comes down to it. Like Dybala. Dybala's not a striker anymore. I hate to break it to you. Maybe back in his Palermo days, he was a fantastic striker, but with Ronaldo and Morata up top, he can't be serving as a striker because he doesn't stay up there. He likes to run back and play make. So in that role, play him as a turquista. I think both him and Pirlo don't want to come to the realization that he's not a striker anymore. I think that's hurting them. It's going to hurt the team as we move on, trying to force Dybala as a striker. But when Pirlo finally clicks the final pieces of the puzzle, I think Juve is going to be a very scary team for the European top flights.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, I agree with what you said there about Juve. I don't think Pirlo has yet found the recipe, I guess, that, cause, it's kind of worrying as well because now we're Christmas time and he still doesn't really have a go-to formation, a go-to lineup, and not even that, just when you're watching Juve play, you can't, okay, let's say you took away, I don't see the jersey, I don't see the players playing, I don't see the club name, nothing, I don't see anything, I just see blank, pieces moving around, players. I wouldn't be able to tell you, oh, that's Pirlo's system, oh, that's Pirlo, like, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. With most coaches, I could say that. So, I feel like Pirlo is still young, still a new coach, but obviously you have to live with that. It was their decision to bring him in, so they're gonna have to live and die by that. And to me, it was a mistake bringing him in so early. I would have let him garner some more experience and then bring in some more experience for right now. And because Ronaldo's not going to be here forever. You have a certain time window that they need to win the Champions League, and once that closes, who knows how long it'll be till they win another one. So I think they should have took advantage of the current moment with Ronaldo here, and they didn't. So we'll see. Pirlo still young. If he could win the Champions League this year, that would be fucking huge. But
it'd be massive. But we could. We have the quality to win the Champions League. We have We saw that with Barcelona. We made Barcelona look like Benevento. We have the quality to beat any team on any given day. The problem is the motivation isn't there. When we face big teams, we play better. When we face small teams, we play worse because we get too cocky and we think we're better than they are, which we are, and we let that narrative get to our head and we play like shit because the little team always outdogs the bigger team. So when we're playing Barca, when we're playing Bayern, when we're playing Madrid, we think, okay, these guys are on our level. Let's show them that they're behind us. Let's show them we are better than them. When we face teams like Lyon and Ajax, we're like, okay, easy win, guys. Just go out there, score a goal, and have fun. And it bites us in the ass. So this game against Porto, there's no reason why we cannot win 7-0. There's no reason why we can't win 10-0 on aggregate. No reason. But will we? No, it's going to be very close. It's going to be closer than the Barca game because we don't take them seriously. So if we want to win the Champions League, we can. We have the players. We have the quality. I think Pirlo, as a coach, he just stands there, yells at the players. We have it all. It's just the motivation to do so just isn't there, and we're too cocky.
Yeah, and every year, if you look at Juve, there's always a standout game, I guess you can say, in the Champions League campaign, like the Atletico one is an example. There's always that one game where Juve fans say, oh, we beat this big team, we could beat anyone in the Champions League, we dominated them. And then they play a smaller club like Francesco mentioned, and they'll play Ajax or Lyon or whoever it is, and they fold. So they need to get over that hump. It could be motivation, it could be tactically getting it wrong. It's a lot of things, but to win a Champions League, you need a lot of things to go right. So that's why it's not easy to win. That's why not every club has one. So We'll see if Pirlo can do it. I think it's highly unlikely, but we'll see. We'll see what he can do. We've seen stranger things happen, so let's see if Juve can do it. Before I wrap up here, and by the way, we also we didn't talk about the matches one by one because there's matches going on right now. There's gonna be matches tomorrow. It's gonna be kind of outdated, this podcast. So we decided it'd be better if we didn't just break down matches individually because no one's gonna really care about what happened last match day if the new one's on right now. So yeah, it's harder when there's Wednesday games to really record, but we want to make sure we got an episode out. It's been a week. We had exams for school, so we wanted to make sure we got those done and focus on them. But now that they're done, I'm gonna be looking to get some guests on, talk to some of the guys.
Yep, me too. I got a few guests. Who can come on
he's
as
got
well.
some. I'm sure Francesco got some. I have a couple in mind. We'll try and work those out. I'm excited to do the mid-season review podcast because we can talk about big disappointment as a player, biggest surprise, all that stuff. Those are always the best ones. So I'm excited for that. Before we end this podcast, though, I want to ask you guys, where do you think Papu will land?
Okay. I got mine. Napoli.
Napoli? Okay.
Yeah.
For Chad, where do you think Papu Gomez will land?
I think Papu, it depends on him. If he wants to stay loyal to the Atalanta fan base and he doesn't go and he says, I can't play for another Serie A team because of the fans of Atalanta, I think he's going to PSG. But, or PSG or Madrid or Barca, one of those three, if they want. Or, but if that's not a factor, if he says, I'm going to, like, whatever team, like, I want to stay in Italy, I genuinely think he'll go to, for Atalanta, he'll go to Inter for the Eriksen swap. But for Papu, like, as a player to actually do good, it'll be Milan.
Well, I think him leaving the Serie A is unlikely because, Arnie, you see most players, like, if they do transfer, it's usually not to a team outside the current country they're in because it's hard to get settled into a new country mid-season. Like, you're in the midst of games. In the summer, you have all this time to get settled in, but...
Plus with COVID.
Yeah, also with COVID, yeah. So it's I really don't see Papu leaving Italy. I think it will be a Serie A team. I think Inter are in the best position because they're going to lose a player they don't really use for a player that they'll definitely use. So I think it's a win-win. I think Atalanta will get an instant replacement instead of having to look for one with Eriksen if they get him in. So I think it's a good chance to go to Inter. I'd probably favor Inter. I feel like if Napoli really want to get Papu, and if they're serious about it, they can convince him, and I think they can get him. But it all depends on how serious Napoli are. If they want him,
any team could get Papu. If they only want 10 mil, I'm surprised Juve aren't like flying him out right now.
Oh, me too.
I feel like he would fit in at Napoli more compared to other teams.
Yeah.
Because Fabian Ruiz, like me and Danny already mentioned, I don't want to call him a bad player, but
he's been terrible.
I think Papu is levels above him.
Yeah.
Even at his age, so yeah, I think Papu would slide right into Napoli.
I think his like play style too fits us too because
it's quicker pace, kind of like a Mertens in a way.
Yeah, and we like our small like players too.
Yeah,
and
so
we need a guy that can take corners, and he would be perfect. Him and Gulam would be the two perfect corner takers.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Papu would fit at Napoli most, but I feel like Inter, as of right now, I think they're probably the favorites in my opinion.
I feel like what I was going back to where Francesco had to say about if he wanted to leave Italy. I think this is what I'm thinking. I think Papu wants to stick it to Gasperini, saying like you made a mistake, and to also Atalanta, you make a mistake selling me. I get like sometimes at the end of the day you want to do what's best for the fans, but if you're not close with your management or your coaching staff, I feel like you want to like just end up sticking it to them, and I don't think the fans are gonna get mad at Papu because he might, because if he leaves to like a team like Inter or whatever, because at the end of the day it's their fault. It's the you could say the owner picked Gasperini over Papu Gomez. Gasperini's we all know how he can be outside, like even like out, like as a person. Not even as a coach, as a person, the guy's an idiot. I'm gonna say that right now. He's an idiot. Even his coaching staffs are all full of idiots. Telling fans, like, calling Napoli racial slurs and stuff, making up excuses because your team didn't play well. Like, he's an idiot. He doesn't think sometimes when he speaks. And I feel like Papu might want to stick it to him, and I feel like the best teams to go to are teams like Inter, Juve, Milan, maybe Roma. Who knows? He can end up at Roma. Who knows? And Napoli. So I feel like the top. You just look at the top 6 teams besides Atalanta to look out for if in the Papu saga, we can call it.
Yeah, and I think Atalanta made the right choice, getting rid of Papu instead of getting rid of Gasperini, because everyone knows finding a good manager is much harder than replacing a player.
A player, yeah.
You can replace a player. People think it's hard. It's not really hard at all. You can replace a player easily. There's many players out there, but managers who are really good and Gasperini's level, you can't find them just off the street. So
I just think they're gonna be making a mistake. I just think they could work it out. Like I get, like, you don't always have to see eye to eye, whatever. Like, I know a few players never like their coaches, but they end up playing for them, just sucking it up for the club. And I feel like Papu's willing just to, like, not like be but you don't have to be buddies with Gasperini, but just whatever, do what he says. But they're not even calling him up. Gasperini's not even calling him up to, like, even sit on the bench or start 45 minutes and come off. Just, he's finished at Atalanta when he's against Roma, one of the biggest games you could say they can play. He's not even on the bench.
Yeah, so, and you see the Instagram story. I'm gonna tell all one. Basically saying he's gonna tell the truth once he's gone. So he's gone. And I don't want to say he should suck it up, because I don't know how bad the situation really is. Like, I don't know everything I said.
Like, I didn't mean like he should suck it up, but just not even suck it up. Like, not like, I have to use a better word. Just like, do what's best for the club. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like, okay, yeah, you have your problems with Gasperini, but just don't take it out on the club. Don't say, oh, the club's stupid, but just, because it's not, I think at the end of the day, I don't know the whole story. I'm just
that's why I don't want to comment on it.
Yeah. Like, I'm just assuming based off, like, what we hear, what we see. At the end of the day, I think he's gone, so we can all agree that he might be gone. And if he stays, then clearly none of us have an idea what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And so I think he's gone, and I think he wants to stick it. He wants to stay in Serie A and then maybe potentially stick it to Gasperini, saying, "You guys made the bad choice of selling me." That's what I think.
Yeah, I see him basically already having one foot out the door, if not two. But
he's just waiting for his bags to arrive.
Yeah, when January hits, I think by January 15th he'll be gone. Honestly, I think 15 days he'll find a club, and asking price isn't a lot, so people will jump at the opportunity to get a player like him.
He's still a good age too. He's 32 years old. He's got a few years left, so a team who's willing to win now should be full interest in him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just sucks because, like, teams like Juve, can't really, like, we already said we're not interested in him. And I kind of understand, because we can't really use him. We use him in Serie A, but, like, if we want it for the big stage, we can't use him in Champions League because he plays for Atalanta already. But, like, teams like Milan, they could use him in Europa League all they want. So I think that'll be.
Can we just talk about? I don't know if you guys saw it, but Papu, like, the disrespect Atalanta he was showing when he was on the bench against Juve. He was singing Juve's song when he was walking to the bench. So that's how you know the guy's gone.
Yeah. But if he somehow, like, manages to stay, it's gonna be such
no way.
I do think he's gone though. Like, there's no way he's staying out there. Yeah. Maybe it's a sign he wants to come to you. But unfortunately, we're not interested in him.
Yeah, Papu, class player, and I like him as a person too. So I wonder what was said between him and Gasperini.
It had to be real bad though. It had to be really bad for the.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, apparently.
Had to be horrible.
This is what a few reports are saying. I don't know how true it is. Apparently, they even got to, like, physical. Like, I think Gasperini like grabbed him or something. Or, like, I don't want to, like, assume, but that's what a few reports are saying. So we'll find the truth. We'll find the truth when
Papu tells us, we'll know. We'll all know.
Yeah, we'll all know in the coming weeks. We'll definitely talk about that on the podcast when more news comes out.
Yeah.
But for this podcast,
hey, Bob, if you're listening, if you want to come on the podcast and explain everything, by all means, it's open for you.
Hop on. You're the first ever player to see our stories, so hop on.
Yeah.
You're always welcome here. Yeah, thank you for listening. We're happy to be back. We'll be on next week again. This is the last time you'll be hearing us before Christmas. So Merry Christmas to all to celebrate.
Happy
Happy
Yeah.
holidays.
holidays to all that don't.
Yep.
That don't.
Happy holidays. And Merry Christmas to everyone. I know it's gonna be tough this year. Depending on where you live with the guidelines you have to follow, but just wish your family Merry Christmas. And just continue to stay safe and continue to follow the rules.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat here, so we'll try and get through it together as a population. But yeah, we'll be on next week. We'll probably have a fun one next week. Hopefully a guest. Maybe we'll do 2 next week. We'll see. I have a
Yep.
lot of ideas, so that'll be great. Hope you guys enjoy the matches and enjoy your holidays and your family and all that. So see you next week. Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao, guys.
Ciao.